borough presidents, voting for the public advocate, city council members, and a few other bullshit things that I'm not actually going to put down a vote for because I just don't care. Yeah, I'm part of the problem, but whatever. Like, I don't care about like what 5 no-name delegates the city sends to some conference or whatever. So I'm not going to waste my time studying that.
Right.
But yeah, so got lots of mayoral candidates, got lots of comptroller stuff. It's just really a fucking boring day, if I'm being totally honest.
All I want is to be able to take my penis out on the bus. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Anyway, hello everybody!
No, that's definitely too much to ask for. You should get punched in the face for that in New York.
Welcome to...
Indeed.
Indecent exposure is a class 2 felony. Hello everybody, welcome to the Church of Chonkwij podcast. My name is DrNiggle. I'm joined tonight by Masami, OmegaConstruct, and Zero Burn. You can currently play Zero playing the PTR for Diablo 3. And this week has started off delightfully. Because we had a kick-ass session of D&D yesterday. Zero got some good news today. And I got to spend the day indoor in air conditioning because it was like 90 degrees outside, and coincidentally, there was nothing to do. So yeah.
Oh, it must have been a impressively no-pants day for you.
Oh my god, yes it was. Glorious day of wearing no pants.
I definitely took off my pants the moment I got home.
I mean, that is how we kick back and relax here. Let's check in on the Zero Cam. Zero! Buddy, you wearing pants? Fuck no! Alright, back to T3. Zero Cam still has not gotten old. I fucking love the Zero Cam. But yeah.
It's just because I'm just so fucking ugly. It makes it worth it.
You're sensation. You're not ugly, you fucker. Come on. You are a sensation of manly something or other. I put my big toe in you. That's what I'm trying to say. But E3 is all done. That was last week. I didn't realize that Steam has their own thing going on. Called...
Of course they've got their own thing.
It's called Next Fest. And apparently it ran from June 16th, and it's going through to Tuesday the 22nd. Celebrating upcoming games all week long, 7 days, hundreds of demos, oodles of live streams. So Steam recommended a couple city builders to me. That's always nice. One that I actually put on my wish list, called the Immortal Mayor, which is basically it's a town builder, city builder, but it is it takes place in, I want to say, Korea. And I realize I don't have any city builders that are Asian. I mean, I have city skylines. You can make that whatever the fuck you want it to be, but most of my city builders... Yeah, you
just turn yours Asian with mods.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Anno, that's all Eastern and Middle Eastern. Same thing with Banished. Yeah, same thing with Life is... Or, what's the other one that's on right now? Universum? Oh, yeah. So, anyway, thought I would bring that up. Steam probably has lots of nice recommendations for you. But in the meantime...
Steam summer sale's starting in a couple of days.
I was about to say, yeah, that summer sale's right around the corner. Prepare your wallets.
Brace yourselves for impact.
This is a good lead up to that. Give you a whole bunch of new stuff to put on your shopping list.
Exactly.
What else happened? We can talk about the Twitch thoughts that got banned, the ASMR girls, which I personally think is bullshit.
Bit of a crackdown, finally. There've been, I don't know, on the one, there've been some girls on Twitch who have been pushing the limits of the Twitch TOS to its extreme. And I'm kind of torn on how I feel about them, because on the one hand, Twitch TOS are horrific. And Twitch is like trying to straddle this bullshit line of like no sexual content and being appropriate for kids, while also like empowering women, and we're so progressive and we love women and women can do no wrong kind of like bullshit, whatever you want to call it, that they got going on over there. So on the one hand, I want to like commend these women for like the reason it got so bad is because like technically a lot of most of the stuff they're doing doesn't actually break the horrifically worded Twitch TOS, even though like it clearly breaks the spirit of the Twitch TOS. And like, so I want to give them credit for pushing the limits, but I don't know that they're actually that smart. And like the other flip side of that is that, yeah, I mean, they're just some dumb Twitch sleuths who just finally got what was coming to them. So I'm torn. That's my rambling rant on Twitch thoughts getting banned.
Masami, you posted this.
Right.
And then Zero chimed in on it. I went and I visited the two most popular streamers that got the boot off Twitch were Amaranth and Indie Fox. And I went, obviously the Twitch channels aren't around anymore, but their YouTube channels sure as shit are.
Right.
And
Which can't ban their YouTube channels, so.
Yeah, right. YouTube seems to be fine with all their content. Everything that they were banned for on Twitch is apparently fine on YouTube.
Well, I mean, YouTube has age restrictions and guidelines and standards on that type of thing that Twitch does not. Because Twitch is an open platform for all ages, whereas YouTube explicitly has content that, we can talk about how well enforced or how, good YouTube actually does it, but ostensibly there is content for adults and children.
And on YouTube, we are definitely an adult channel. So is Amaranth. Oh, there we go. Okay, so playing a video right now, I don't see anything wrong because with this in particular, the video is called ASMR Lotion Up, Moisturize Me. You can guess what she does. The ASMR part of it is actually really relaxing. I popped on headphones and I cranked the volume up and I basically minimized the browser and just closed my eyes, and it's really nice ASMR. While also she's putting lotion all over her skin.
Amaranth is extreme. Like, I mean, you might not be familiar with her, but she is extremely well known in the Twitch thought titty streamer ASMR quote unquote world.
I can't imagine why.
A leader of that for a long time. She has been banned on multiple occasions for always continually pushing the limits and being hypersexual and focusing all the content to her OnlyFans. I mean, she's basically a softcore porn star who does it all through Twitch. Good for her.
Darn too.
But it's got thing where people are just like, come on, Twitch, just finally, you need to just fucking acknowledge that you're a huge part of your website is just softcore, classify it as such, and instead of playing this fucking game.
I said this on another podcast, and you said they'd never do it because of sponsors and ads, but they should they should have a hardcore section.
Well, that's the thing. They're at a point where they need to, but they won't, and we're just gonna keep stuck in this weird bullshit middle ground that we have now of fucking pools, hot tubs, and beach streams. And ASMR girls and fucking horse heads deep throating microphones.
Oh yeah, that video. Wait a minute, do I have that video? No, I have another one queued up. So Indie Fox was the other one that was really popular that got banned, and I found her latest YouTube video, and it's her licking an ear, a plastic ear. I get the video played in the background. So she's just licking a plastic ear that's over a microphone so you can hear that noise. And it's actually kind of really nice ASMR once you can forget what is physically happening to make that sound. She also happens to be in a yoga pose with her ass straight out in very form-fitting pants. I don't see anything wrong with this.
I took yoga. That's not really a yoga pose. I'm just
Yeah, I don't care. But yeah, Twitch is This is kind of embarrassing for Twitch, honestly.
In the words of Batman, dat ass.
Yeah, for real. And that seems to be her signature pose based on a couple videos that are just here.
Well, listen, like, there's no reason in the world that these girls shouldn't just go to Chatterbait or Manycam, of those other sites. The only reason they don't is exactly the problem here, which is that Twitch is filled with children. And that's who's watching all these girls' streams. Like, that's what people don't like. We're making fun of it, we're laughing about it. The people who tune in to these girls' streams are 12, 13-year-old boys. And younger. I mean, to put it bluntly, because Twitch is targeted towards children. And now we're like, that's where the huge audience is. That's where parents are dumb and are letting kids get Twitch subscriptions or spend their Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime subscriptions on shit. It's just, I don't know. Like, Twitch needs to get its head out of its ass and either say it has a softcore porn section or get these fucking girls off the platform. Like, I'm all for cam girls doing whatever they want. I just am dumbfounded and just at this point extremely tired of the double standards and hypocrisy and just total retardation of Twitch on this whole issue.
Again, you brought up the double standard and the empowerment of women. They could do no wrong. Does anyone have a running tally on the number of times that Alinity has showed boob on camera and not been banned for it? But that is the first example of that comes to mind.
So, okay, speaking of Alinity, and she pisses me off to no end because I think we all here are animal lovers. All of us are. And she, on numerous occasions, has been called to the floor and investigated for animal abuse.
That cunt. I didn't know anything about that.
She has, not only that, I mean, there's a difference.
Why are you digging up, like, 3-year-old Twitch and YouTube drama?
Well, no, I mean, 2 years old.
That's so 2 years ago.
Still,
that's basically forever.
Yeah, I mean, in internet time, it is forever. But at the same time, I don't forgive Michael Vick for what he did, and that's been over a decade ago. Fuck that motherfucker. I hope he rots in hell.
She also didn't, like, have a dog fighting ring and, kill and bury the dogs in his backyard like Michael Vick did.
Well, no, and I agree, but potato, potato, fire the shot.
I am throwing this up on screen here. So, this is a news article from 2019. Following an investigation by Saskatoon SPCA, Twitch streamer Alinity has been cleared of all allegations of animal abuse. So, she was technically cleared. Oh, yeah.
Apparently, she gave her cat alcohol once,
yes.
And then she threw her cat another time.
Throwing animals is justified now. Yeah, so the post was met with backlash. One comment saying, "Glad to know alcohol is now an acceptable cat-based diet. Thanks SPCA for clearing up the confusion. While we're at it, I'm also thrilled to hear that throwing animals is justified now as well." Yeah.
But surprise, surprise, it's just a bunch of people who just hate her because she's a Twitch thought, trying to, like, make it sound like she's slamming cats against a fucking wall or, like, holding a cat's head in a puddle of vodka when, like, her cat, if I remember correctly, either licked vodka off her lips or, like, out of her glass, and the other one she, like, picked her cat up and just tossed it. And, like, I mean, fuck, I throw my cat across the room onto my bed and onto my couch, and he runs over. Like, that's just how we play. Like, cats can handle a little bit of airtime. It's like, as much as I hate the whole situation around Twitch thoughts and the way that they, in my opinion, like, clearly abuse the rules of Twitch, and I'm, again, no prude or anything like that, but I do think certain things shouldn't be paraded around on a website for children.
Not
But
without
a lot of
proper
people,
warnings
like,
or like labels or things
Yeah.
like that. Like
So
people got to know what they're getting into.
I dislike her plenty for those reasons, but there is definitely a case of people hating on Alinity and Amaranth and others way in excess of any of the crimes they're accused of. So,
I mean, I definitely don't hate the player. I mean, I don't. If you can make money, because that's. I mean, it is what it is. And I mean, I have friends who here locally who have quit their jobs and have an OnlyFans account, and that's what pays their bills. A friend of mine, a girl that I used to work with, just bought a house.
so how nice are her tits?
Yeah, you're gonna need to.
I've never
give me-
seen them, if we're being honest.
You need to give me
Bullshit.
the names.
Bullshit. You find out that a former coworker of yours has an OnlyFans and you don't go look? Yeah, I believe
I'm
that.
also very respectful of my wife and considerate. The only reason I knew about her OnlyFans is because we hung out and she bought dinner and was like,
Wait,
"Hey,
is
this
your
is
wife
OnlyFans."
one of the like
Was
bored
like-
is cheating psychos?
No. I understand what Zero is saying, which is basically not which is okay. So she goes to dinner with you and basically says, "I have an OnlyFans account. If you ever want to see my tits, check it out."
Essentially, yes.
Okay, that's fair enough. I need their names for for
Yes, we your friends will look on your behalf.
You're
For
just supporting
study.
local entrepreneurs at that point.
Yeah,
Really?
You are
Yeah.
you are putting money back into your local economy.
purely for research purposes.
Clearly.
No, wait, going back to what Omega was saying, but yeah, okay, so Twitch is a platform for there are a shit ton of kids, people under 18. Nice. Kids under 18 on Twitch. Yeah, no dispute. Thinking back at 12 or 13-year-old DrNiggle, I would imagine myself being infuriated hearing about adults potentially taking away a source of my pornography.
Yeah,
But-
but like you could also go to a website and just say you're over 18 and it's fine.
Exactly. Well, you don't even need to say that you're over 18. There are index sites that index free picture previews or movie previews of various porn sites, and they just index all of them into a giant list. World sex, and that is fucking easy as shit to get on. But yeah, to that point, I was gonna say also, taking away this source of pornography on Twitch, again, thinking as 12 or 13-year-old DrNiggle, it would force me to get better at circumventing whatever technology was in place to prevent me getting pornography, thus making me better at computer. So, overall, I think it's a good idea to take this shit off Twitch. But even though I have no problem with the content itself.
It's not even like taking away the pornography. It's just putting the pornography in the place where pornography goes.
Right.
Twitch
Yeah.
is not the place where pornography goes. There are places where pornography goes. Put it there. And that's all it takes. And you know what? If kids want to break the rules and be bad little kids and go to pornography that they're not allowed to look at, shame on them, and I hope they enjoy it. But keep it off fucking Twitch. Like, I get it. Like, yeah, kids are gonna watch porn. I watched porn when I was a kid. Pretty sure everybody found it wherever they could. But like, we have a society based on the illusion of rules and propriety. So
the illusion.
Twitch is a place where we like pretend that it isn't full of porn, and we put the porn in the place where the porn goes. It makes sense to me.
Oh my damn! I just hit her. I just hit Amoranth's community tab on YouTube. It's just yeah. This is fine on YouTube. Ooh, cop outfit. Very nice. So, can we porn on YouTube?
YouTube allows full nudity as long as it's for educational purposes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a subreddit called YouTube Titties that's just filled with nudity on YouTube.
Nice.
You'll see a lot of like nude yoga, it first became a thing. I remember there was like it sort of went viral that people started putting on like waxing tutorials. And it's just women full on naked spread eagle. Well, they're actually usually wearing sports bras because there's no need to. It's not educational to have the boobs out for this part. But yeah, they're just sitting there spread eagle waxing their vag.
Breasts are not a sexual organ and should not be censored.
That's what New York State says.
That's
Darn
amazing.
You're allowed to be a woman's allowed to be topless anywhere. A man is allowed to be topless as long as it's not sexualized.
Didn't Rumor Willis go out to a farmer's market or something topless? Shortly after that was decided? I'm thinking like this was 2010.
I don't know. One time when I was still living up in Ithaca, and I was working on the Commons early one morning, probably about like 8 in the morning before there was anybody there. This woman and a photographer came out on the empty Commons, and she took her shirt off, and they did a topless photo shoot out there. That was fun. Got to start my day seeing some free titties. So that was a good way to start the day.
Yeah, that's sweet. All right. So anyway, that's what Twitch did.
Well, I mean, and you know, back to the whole thing. It's and I 100% agree with Omega. The TOS is there for a reason. It's there to protect the people who are on there to view it as video games. Period. And there was, I mean, the person who spoke out on this first was a female streamer. I forget what her name is.
Yeah, I saw her video as well. Was she Asian girl?
No, this was I'm trying to do this PC. Caucasian.
You can say white.
Yeah,
like white is not on BC. What the fuck?
You are translucent white, Zero. You can say white.
We're four white people on a podcast right now. We can say it's okay, Zero. I have a white friend. I'm going to give you the W card. You can say the W word.
Oh my god! So,
white people are my friends.
And by the way, Doc, I appreciate it from the translucent community. We appreciate you recognizing us.
Thank you. I am two gradients. I'm 2 gradients away from being solid white trash.
I am about half a shade more clear than Larry Bird.
I'm pretty sure I'm even more clear than either of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, not hard in South Dakota.
And, you know, I've spent the last 15 months inside. So I'm like, if you can't see my veins through my skin, I'd be very fucking surprised.
Jesus Christ, yeah, South Dakota is the state that has documentaries on people who, the sightings of people who aren't white.
Well, we got plenty of Native Americans.
Oh, okay, all right, I take it back.
And plenty of Somali immigrants too.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed Somalian.
Oh yeah, we've got a whole community here in my city. And they're good folk too. Real nice people. Real nice people.
One thing that I learned over the years covering news is there are some surprising concentrations of immigrant communities dotted throughout the Midwest. Like, it just became sort of a thing where people from this country knew that, hey, in this city, in the Midwest, or in this state or whatever, there's a whole bunch of us. So you go there.
Yep.
And that's one of them.
Oh, we have our Dutch and Irish.
I mean, coastal cities like New York, Boston, even as you go down the coast as well, the immigrant community, like that at least makes sense. Because that's like, yeah, I mean, these immigrant communities started up historically when people were coming over on boats. But now it's all like these random places in the Midwest, that's all modern immigrant communities, which is bizarre.
Getting away from the coastal elites. Zero, are you leveling up another... Sorry to switch over. I'm looking at Zero's PTR footage. Did you start up a new character? New Demon Hunter?
Yeah, I rolled Demon Hunter for the PTR just to kind of get a feel for it.
Oh, I know what you're using the Kamar 10 clip. I know that rapid fire build.
Oh, yeah. And then Doomslinger, the ethereal weapon. that rapid fire has no cooldown or no longer has a channeling cost and deals 273% increased damage.
Yeah. Okay. So, if we are done with the Twitch thoughts, I will go and listen to ASMR later. That's all. I'll just listen. I won't look at all. I promise. We can talk about the next. So the PTR for Diablo 3 is up. They're gearing up for next season, and the new thing I gather is called Ethereals. So, Zero, what are Ethereals?
Ethereals are special weapons that you can get pretty much at any level because I got my first one at level 2.
PTR, who knows what is
Yeah,
going on with the PTR on that one?
but the each ethereal has a set of affixes. I've gotten Doomslingers that have strafe cost nothing to channel. I've gotten them that my favorites are the rapid fire cost nothing, and I can just stand there and unload and just let the enemies come to me. So it's quite neat. A lot of them right now, I know a lot of the barbarian ethereals are busted. Some of the affixes that are on them are not working properly. So that's been a thing, but I have not seen any issues at all.
So an ethereal sounds like a weapon that just has a random affix, an orange, on it that will do something. Excuse me.
Not even so much an orange. It's a specialty affix that, like, I don't even think that there's an orange affix that completely removes channeling cost from rapid fire.
There used to be.
So these ethereal pieces, are they legendaries that are also ethereal? Is that how it works?
No, from what I've seen, it is just one specific type. Like the only one that I've seen drop for demon hunters is the Doomslinger. I have not seen any others drop.
Oh, so there's literally one ethereal weapon or item.
Yes, it is. It is now, of course, again PTR, so take with grain of salt. But
the Doomslinger is what? That's a bow.
A hand crossbow, yes.
Yeah, one hand weapon. So that does make sense for Demon Hunter that it could be a weapon because Demon Hunters do often dual wield, or almost always dual wield, even if it's just an offhand.
Now, that's one thing I was actually wondering about ethereals. Is it across all gear? Is it only weapons? Is it so? Apparently, it might just be a single weapon per class, even.
It looks like it is a singular weapon. It is not. I have not seen, of course, again, I have not seen anything. Leetness has been playing this too. God rest his soul. But he's played. I think he's doing a spin to win barb. And I don't know what weapons he's seen, but I know I've only seen Doomslinger, and I've seen quite a few things pop up in the chat. But of course, most of those are saying, "Hey, this is broken."
So each class has apparently 3 for a total of 24.
Okay.
So the Demon Hunter has Doomslinger, Windforce, and Baraza do Kianon. Barb's got Grandfather Doombringer Glimmershred. And I'm not going to go through and read the rest of these 24. But it seems that each class has 3.
Okay, I'm pulling up an article as well.
Yeah, I found an Icy Veins forum topic that is a major breakdown on all of them.
Love me some Icy Veins.
So Season 24 introduces Ethereal's a random class weapon legendary power and a random class passive power can roll on an Ethereal. So it can be any from the existing pool of class weapon legendary powers. So that's why you got the channeling cost reduction on that one. It's because it does exist. It is on the. But I'm pretty sure it's on the Khmer 10 clip that lets you spam rapid fire with no resource. So yeah, it can. The weapon, for example, that can roll. Ethereals are account bound. Blah blah blah. Rarity drop rate is set between ancient and primal items, so you get more ancients than you will ethereals. 3 unique ethereals per class. Only 1 ethereal can be equipped at a time. Oh, they ignore item durability loss. That's kind of nice.
That's what. Yeah, that's one of the things about that kind of confuses me about. I don't know. These very much break the mold of D2 ethereal weapons. But yeah, so it seems like these are weapons without an affix that they are giving a random affix from your class.
Yep. And
a random passive from your class. And then they're also going to have big-ass fucking stats.
So you could have 6 passives with your basic 4 and then a Hellfire and an Ethereal.
Oh, God. We're going to see some crazy 6 passive Hellfire builds this season. That's going to be interesting. I wonder what kind of crazy synergies you're going to get out of that. Like, passives are sometimes easily overlooked, but it's because there's often that, like, 1 or 2 where you're like, which of these do I take? And then now if you could stack all these together, there might be some crazy synergies out there that the theory crafters are going to find.
Well, also, it might knock Squirt's necklace off the fucking meta, because that's the go-to amulet for every single build, it seems like, to me at least. Though there's one more thing on here. It says, collecting all 21 ethereals during Season 24 will reward players with the feat of Strength Ethereal Recollection. Players who accomplish this will have all ethereal transmogrify options available for future seasonal and non-seasonal play. So they're trying to get everybody...
They're gonna get... Yeah. They're gonna... God damn it, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
They're gonna get me, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. We're gonna roll...
Son of a bitch. Alright, Doc. We're in it.
Class.
We gotta do it.
It'll happen. I know.
Good luck, keep it up, Zero.
Jesus Christ. I'd say just for, like, ease, we gotta roll a farming tune first, and then just use that one to power level all the other classes that we can.
Well, I mean, we could do what we did a couple seasons ago when we had to do multiple classes set dungeons, which is where we just switched to the other person's, then we could share loot drops at least for those times. So we could, if we do like if we put together a 3 or 4 person farming tune, like you said, then we could all rotate through each of those different. So yeah, that'd be fun. We'll start off with a 4-person farming tune, and then once we get that up and running, and each one can solo farm, we're gonna do 4-man tunes entirely of that one class, and we're just gonna pass the items from person to person.
Pretty much.
That's how that's gonna work. So we're gonna be running around 4 barbarians, whirlwinding our way through, and 4 demon hunters fucking multi-shotting everything to death.
Jesus. Alright, so that's what's in store for the next season of Diablo. Diablo.
Gotta get the glitter, gotta get those affix, or those transmogs.
And in...
I thought my transmog hunt was over.
No, Jesus
Diablo's
Christ, it's never
gonna
over.
suck me in.
No, I mean, Jesus Christ, you're not even close. You don't even have the hamburger or the rainbow sword.
Yeah,
or,
you gotta get a spectrum.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff to get yet.
You gotta get the Infernal Staff of Hurting.
You gotta wait for the yearly event so that you can get all the old school Diablo transmogs.
Oh my god, that's right, yeah. Christ, yeah, you can get a transmog for the Godly Plate of Whale. It's great. Okay, so... The fuck was that? Oh, yeah, Zero, you want an impossible transmog hunt? Or just an impossible glitter hunt, generally? Go after the Rainbow Wings. I've been on and off going for the Rainbow Wings since 2014, 15.
It's basically impossible.
Yeah, it's pretty much impossible.
It's a low percentage roll inside a low percentage roll inside a low percentage roll.
Yep. It's statistically more likely that you'll get struck by lightning than you will find the Rainbow Wings. Anyway, so we can move on to some new business with Masami. because Masami picked up Outer Worlds and has been enjoying Outer Worlds. Did anybody watch that video? A psychopath plays Outer Worlds.
What?
I didn't post it. I don't remember if I said this on the last podcast or not, or if it was during a D&D session or something like that. But yeah,
no, I haven't heard you mention that. It sounds fun.
Okay,
A psychopath plays Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I'll find the YouTube video. But yeah, Masami, how are you liking Outer Worlds?
Pretty good. I actually have not actually purchased it yet. This is the Game Pass hard at work. I was like, you know what? I'm in the mood for something a little bit less, you know, something a little bit more solo. More for the I couldn't decide between Warframe or anything else anymore. So I was like, I'll try random stuff from the Game Pass, and this ended up on the list, and it's been pretty good so far. It's fucking gorgeous.
Is this not a gear up for Outer Worlds 2, which was announced?
I will be honest, I approached it more from, that was a really cool trailer, but despite having watched Kozen play, or seen parts of Kozen play part of it, because obviously I didn't sit down and watch him play the whole thing because he was doing it during work while I was at work and other such logistical issues, but I was kind of like, I kind of want to understand the hype, so here we are.
Very nice.
I will confess that I'm absolutely playing it on easy mode because I don't like to fight for my story. So
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
You save hard mode for the second playthrough. Every time I play through a game first time, it's on the default, normal, easy, whatever. I don't bother. I'm not trying to. Who am I trying to impress?
Right.
Why are we on Hamster Dance now?
I had to switch out real quick. I posted in chat being a psychopath in Outer Worlds. It's a good video, but it's like 20 minutes long, so.
I'm kind of like it's definitely inspired me that if there is a second playthrough, I'm just gonna be an absolute like anti-corporate, down with everything asshole and just see how much fucking trouble it gets me in.
I bet you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, totally fine. Absolutely fine.
Speaking of fine, let's check back in with Zero Cam. Zero Cam, what's up, buddy? Hey! Back to Masami Cam. Oh, man. By the way, Kirby's here. What's up, Kirby?
Hi, Kirby.
Hey, Kirby.
What's up, Kirby?
Okay, so I had a question about Outer Worlds too, but obviously it was just announced. We don't know very much about it, but still.
Well, aimless speculation is kind of what we thrive on some days, so.
That is true. That and Twitch titties.
I don't even have enough of a basis of knowledge about the Outer Worlds to know where to begin the speculation from.
How is it, Masami, like, compare it to Fallout? Similarities and disparities.
So given that I've only ever played Fallout 76, we're basically going to compare that to that, and that's how that's going to work. And I'm not going to pull that lever quite yet. Basically, like, I mean, the aesthetic is interestingly enough similar, although there's definitely a far more greater spacey vibe to this, in that I know you eventually have a spaceship and you travel around and that whatnot and so forth. So thematically it's somewhat similar, but definitely emphasizes different aspects of that similar setting. Just control wise, right now I'm just bitter that I can't be in third person. Fallout lets me be in third person if I don't want to be in first.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, if I let this sit long enough, the cinematic view will twirl around my character. And I am wearing some pretty badass fucking armor right now. Which is pretty cool.
You look a little bit like Doom Guy with sort of a Geth helmet.
A little bit. But it's the best armor I've scrounged up, which is pretty cool. their system is for leveling up is pretty simple. You get skills, and then when you reach certain thresholds, you get certain perks. Once you've maxed out a general category, you start being able to uh, bump up the individual ones. Um, and then they've got like a little perk system where you get one every couple of levels. Comparatively, Fallout is the special stat array, and then Fallout 76 actually does a card perk thing. So obviously you have to the number of, or basically the amount of cards and their value has to equal the stat that what your stat is at. So, but then you can put on different abilities like lock picking, and you can even like take things in and out as well, or flip cards on and off. So, like, say you just want to be in base building, you can flip on like everything that makes base building cheaper or more efficient, etc. Say you're going to go, um, you know, gonna go plow down a bunch of ghouls or whatever. You can put on a high um, offensive build and that sort of junk. So they both are fairly interesting. I mean, obviously there's no online component with Outer Worlds. And as far as I know, in Outer Worlds 2, that is not a planned thing either. So um and
Pretty cool.
Fallout 76 is definitely can be a it definitely has an online component, but most of the time, if you want to be left alone, people will leave you the fuck alone, which is nice.
Yeah. Or they were being especially nice to you and dropping off blueprints and shit.
Yeah.
Which was nice. It's nice to see that in the community.
Mhm.
Alright, so Outer Worlds. Still I want to say that was like... No, it wasn't that one. I was thinking of another game that was free on Epic a couple months back. I don't think Outer Worlds has ever been free on Epic. But if it is, I'm going to grab it. Because I have never played the game. I have only watched other people play the game. But
Yeah.
it's been a while since I had like a story-driven solo player, or that I've played a story-driven solo player game. I don't remember the last one I did. Probably Mass Effect Andromeda, actually.
Nice. Yeah, I've never. I would compare it fairly. Like, it definitely has like obviously there's different thematic setting differences between those two, but it definitely gives me the kind of the epicness of it. It kind of reminds me of when I've seen Kosen play through Mass Effect. So um, I will say you have to be careful about your hero license in Outer World, because if the NPCs are looking at you, they'll react badly. Whereas Fallout, you can literally pillage everything, anything
Oh,
and everything.
okay, good to
So
know. Don't rob them blind while they're looking.
now, if you've got eyes on my screen, you can see how it's all in red and it says steel. If no one cares, it'll be in white and it won't say steel. Now,
Gotcha.
my favorite thing, it doesn't really work in this instance because she's standing right there, and I'm pretty sure the game would set off at that point. But I usually like to go in a house if no one's there. I close the door and then I take everything. Like, it's not the most. It's not like super intelligent AI. You've gotta outsmart, etc., etc. But you just have to kind of be aware of where it is.
So Skyrim, essentially.
I will take your word for
Discretion.
it.
Discretion is the better part of valor.
Correct.
Which means you're still a hero as long as nobody sees you stealing all their shit.
Like this. That chick just left. Close the door.
Mine.
Yep.
Gank. And then you walk out of the room and she comes back in, everything's gone. She's like, "Where's my stuff?" You're like, "I don't know."
Yep.
I don't know.
Absolutely don't
Walks
know.
out 6 times the size that you were when you walked in.
Every time you take a step, you just hear stuff jiggling in your pockets.
I will say that you can become encumbered. I mean, you do have some variety of strength to you, um, and that does determine your carrying capacity. But there is a perk that says you can fast travel even while encumbered. So, if you want to go ham, you can go ham.
Damn. And let's see. Speaking of ham, no, I got nothing for that one. But
yeah, that's a rough segue.
Yeah, that's we're not really talking about ham much, but we could talk about Omega. Brought up the other day that he's given Ivorian another playthrough, but this time with with mods.
We need a guidance sound bit. That would just be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not much to report. Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm doing some boring kind of economy management station building type stuff. I mean, one of the mods that I'm currently using is allowing me to make an economic sector here far easier. This mod is a station hub where I can. Let's see, what shape do I want all these stations in?
You know
I
my
can
default
do
answer
this.
to that question. Horsecock.
Let's make them into just a nice wing.
For anyone that didn't know. So that my question was going to be, yeah, what mods are you using, and how are they affecting gameplay? And I don't even know what the modding community is like for Ivorian.
See, well, right now I just turned this whole sector, all my stations, into a nice, pretty, perfectly evenly spaced ring at the click of a button, which would otherwise have taken me probably 4 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
Very obnoxious and precise movement, because I mean stations are heavy, and when you move them by docking to ship to them to move them, it's a very slow process and tedious to get very precise. So yeah, that's one really nice quality of life mod that I've added. I don't know, like my mod list is quite large, but a lot of it is stuff that you don't really see. It's running under the hood. There's a lot of extra missions, some new systems upgrades, just changes to a lot of the mechanics of the game without like anything necessarily huge or flashy. Let's see. There is one thing that is visually different, but you won't notice it here in this sector. But let's hop somewhere that's decently populated. All right.
Skyboxes in Ivorian have always been pretty.
Yeah, I think this really get a nice aesthetic going with the backgrounds. There's so many different ones. It keeps it nice and interesting. Stations are a lot fucking bigger now.
Yeah.
Like, these things are positively fucking ginormous.
They also look different. Maybe I haven't seen that many stations.
Oh no, it's a full what did he call it? Overhaul. These are all community-made stations. They're not any of the default stuff. All the ship types, all the the enemy ships are community-made ships. Somebody basically put together a massive overhaul of the game and brought together a lot of stations and ships from some of the best builders in the community. I mean, these things are huge. They look far more beautiful than like the default RNG generated stations do. So that just makes things a lot more interesting. Tanks the frame rate a little bit because they're really fucking big, but it's pretty cool. I don't know if at some point over the rest of the podcast I get attacked by either pirates or aliens, I'll give you a holler if you want to hop back, because those are all different ship blueprints as well. Far more interesting. Like the alien ships look far more alien. The pirate ships in general just look a lot cooler than the game's sort of normal vanilla builders. But so it's kind of fun. Downside is all of the enemies and the stations have far more hit points, far more shields.
Yeah, if they're a lot bigger
more
than
guns,
wouldn't they?
So it's basically hard mode. It's an additional level of difficulty on top of higher difficulty level that I set the game at just for the second playthrough. So I'm playing on expert difficulty as well as with enemies that are just harder in general. So it's been a much slower playthrough. I've had to be much more deliberate with my expansions. Every expansion now, instead of just being able to like sort of continue my way through the galaxy, getting stronger as I go along, it's actually been kind of interesting. I started way out by the outside, right up in this area, I believe.
Yep.
Somewhere there's a little home. Oh yeah, here's my logo right there. So that's where I spawned in. I didn't actually explore up here. I uncovered that with a map, but I explored down this way. And then I found some lucky wormholes. Like this one hopped me down here, and then I just kind of, or no, actually, sorry. This wormhole hopped me all the way down here. And while hopping around, I found a really long gateway that took me down here into this area. So like, I've sort of been leaping forward and then a long period of consolidation to make sure that I
Have an
am
economy
actually
and infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, not even that, just make sure I'm strong enough to fight off the harder enemies as I get closer to the center. A lot of this game has been hiding it in sectors like this, filled with all sorts of
NPC
defensive
factions.
ships.
Yeah, that can
And
defend you.
so when pirates and aliens come in, I join in and help them fight, but I don't do single-handedly. No, I mean, there's plenty of times where I hop out of these sectors and go fight them, but it's tougher. It can get pretty slow. Some fights end up being 10 minutes long just because enemies have so much HP, and I'm not putting out enough DPS yet, so I'm currently in a consolidation phase. There's a turret factory here. It's got some guns that I want to make, but I'm currently amassing materials, which involves making money, which takes us back to that sector that I showed you a little while ago with all those stations, where I'm going to be using that as my economic backbone moving forward.
All right. So
That's pretty much what I've got going on in Avorion right now.
modded playthrough. Be interested to hear how this evolves, because I think you and I, we start off with a set number of mods, and then we have an idea, and more mods get added. Maybe I'm more guilty of that than you are.
No, there are probably 10 more mods now than when I started the playthrough. But I've also removed probably 4 or 5 others that I just weren't adding anything that I thought they would, or I just didn't like what they added after all. So, like there was one that made mining asteroids also drop like other goods than just the mineral resources. Like it would drop like gold or platinum or other things that are like trading goods and manufacturing goods, but not like your actual building materials.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, that sounds cool. But then it's like, oh, hey, my miners are all filled up with this shit and there's no more cargo capacity. And I end up like, oh, I've got all this gold that I'm just dumping into space that I have no use for. And I can't be bothered to find a place to sell it because I'm doing other things. So there's some stuff like that. But yeah, it's been fun. Got a couple more stations to add here, and then I'm just going to leave this on its own, running in the background, never to be visited again, just making me passive money.
So
passive money is good money.
Absolutely, it is. I was gonna jump to one tech story that I've been paying attention to. I don't think I posted anything about it, so we'll cover it real quick before we move on to the piece de resistance.
Ooh, are we getting all Renaissance?
Not yet. Even older. But first, there was an article that came up on The Verge on June 14th that Microsoft was to end Windows 10 support on October 14th, 2025. And the subtext was another sign that a new version of Windows is on the way. And this whole article just detailed basically that. Microsoft is ending Windows 10 support, and there's this big theory that a new version of Windows is on the way. Same website, next day. Windows 11 leak reveals new UI, start menu, and more. So there was an alpha version of Windows 11 that leaked. There's an ISO version of it. If you know where to get ISOs and shit, you can definitely still find it. Originally, it was up on... Actually, I don't know specifically where it leaked to originally, but Microsoft is slowly moving to take down as many of these ISOs as it can. But for right now, we definitely know, and The Verge found out the day after it published that article, Windows 11 is a real thing. It's in development, and there's a planned, release and development tree for it. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, so you see any of the screenshots of it?
Yeah, I'm looking through the start menu stuff right now, and I think it's kind of hilarious that they've included an option to center all of your your hot links on the taskbar. So
How Mac of them.
Yeah, make it able to look more like Mac. And they're also redoing some of the folder options to, again, it just reminds me more of an Apple OS. But anyway, Windows 11, it's in the pipeline. It's coming soon. And, okay, so the thing that I think we were all going to talk about tonight, because it got posted earlier today, was the release of Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance.
Good lord, man.
So,
Leadus, may he rest in peace, shared a video. I believe it was Leadus who shared it earlier today. And it is a half-hour long, brutal takedown of this game. Have you ever watched a video game review of a video game that's so bad where, just the shitting on them just is so absurd that it's almost cathartic? It was one of those kind of videos. Holy shit. Yeah, that video right there.
Yeah, I've got it on screen. It's the skill up. Fucking
terrible.
Skill up over the course of 23 minutes and 37 seconds. He, the guy behind this review, really takes an in-depth look at game mechanics and just how the game is set up from a technical standpoint, down to the gameplay, down to everything that you would expect to be in a game like this that just isn't there. And this is not an alpha release. This is not early access. This is a game which is available to be bought now. The devs aren't planning, an update for the alpha or the beta release. They're talking about game patches to correct such issues as horrible damage imbalance, or the ability to not be able to play two of the same classes when you're co-oping with your friends. Or
the fact that, classes, your character's not even customizable. There are 4 classes. It's not that there are 4 classes. There are 4 stock characters.
Yeah, and you can't customize their stats at all.
There's an archer, a guy with a hammer. I'm guessing a fucking I don't know, dude.
Barbarian.
It looks so bad.
It's a barbarian.
Yeah, there's a rager, a barbarian,
a dwarf.
It's so bad.
And that's, so character customization is completely out if you want to play with your friends. There's no in-game invite system. You have to go through Steam. If you're on console, I don't know.
It's like the fine tradition of D&D games sucking ass continues.
Yeah, why is it so hard to make a good D&D game?
I swear, they had Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2, and from then on, it's just blown.
So the thing about this is that in terms of game development, it seems like game development is the trunk of a tree, and then the tree has all these branches off it: game mechanics, skill trees, combat system, role playing, and all the rest of this. All these branches that you're supposed to develop to become a really well-balanced game. And there are fundamental things that go on each one of those branches that this game is missing. We've already detailed a bunch of them. It seems like they got so far fleshing out these branches, and then they just stopped to move on to something else or to actually implement it, and they never bothered to go back and flesh it out. And eventually we just got this, what this is. And the thing that's kind of frustrating, which he'd be talking about in the video about this point, is that all the maps are the same. They have different skins. Like, they look like they're different environments, but technically their layouts are all identical. So that sort of shit, how does that even still happen in a video game?
I mean, it's just painfully obvious that this game was just churned out with no effort and no real care. I mean,
that's depressing.
It's you watch that trailer, or you watch this review video, and it's painfully obvious that this is not a game made by like an ambitious studio that was no, this was lazy. This was low effort. This was never expected or meant to be good. This is one of those games that the studio was handed and told to make, so they just churned out something.
This is standard edition going for $40, digital deluxe going for $60, and there's a steelbook edition for $60 plus.
The most memorable line from that Skill Up review, he said, it's not worth the $40. If you have Game Pass, it's not worth the bandwidth to download or the hard drive space to store.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part that would get me is, yeah.
He said it's not even worth it if it's fucking free.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, as far as co-op party games go, this is not, well, no, sorry, not, that sounded like it is a party game. It's not a party game. It's a co-op adventurer. As far as it goes, I can think of half a dozen games that would be better than this. Divinity Original Sin, I know we're eventually going to get around to forming up a party with Omega, me, and Leetness, and whoever else owns it. Like, this was a big disappointment, probably more so for Leetness, because he was super hyped about the potential that this had, and it just came out and it's crashed. If you have a shitty launch like this, it doesn't really matter how much you patch your game later on. Damage is done.
I think what's most disappointing, for me at least, I'll speak for myself on this one, is that D&D has gotten so popular. Why the fuck couldn't they fund a decent goddamn game for once?
Right?
Like, seriously, of all the times, this is the time. This is how you drag more people into buying your books.
Well,
fuck.
But you know why, though? Because, like, they do it the other way. They don't want to use this game to drive people to buy books. They're just trying to sell one extra piece of crap to everybody who's already in the D&D community.
Yeah, and I think that was, personally, I think that was the wrong tactic.
Well, but you know why they do that? Because we're not dealing with D&D here. We're dealing with Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, that's the fundamental problem. Yeah.
That owns Magic the Gathering, which is, I believe, owned by Hasbro?
Yes, Hasbro is also on here.
I believe Hasbro is the parent company of Wizards of the Coast.
It is. Correct. You are correct.
So, this, we could trust a D&D product to be a decent product because of people like Jeremy Crawford and the team that makes D&D at Wizards of the Coast. But this video game is a piece of crap that has an IP pasted onto it to try and grab some cash. This is not a video game studio making a game. This is a card and board game RPG company owned by a toy company hiring a third-party video game studio to churn out a generic, mediocre piece of crap.
And this is somehow not surprising. There's an IGN announcement. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance announces post-launch DLC roadmap. So technically this game is released tomorrow, and there's a a DLC roadmap already. That to me, that just screams cash grab even louder. This is unfortunate.
I watch what the DLC is going to be, like the other classes that are a part of D&D.
Probably. Yeah, they'll do the
$5.99 a class.
They'll do the same shit. People were a little pissed off at Blizzard when they did Rise of the Necromancer for D3. Because, we lost Masami.
Oh.
She's back.
Masami back.
Thank you.
Because Necromancer was a base class in D2.
Yeah.
D2's add-on was the Druid, and that it wasn't just the Druid, it was a whole act. Blizzard didn't get a whole hell of a lot of flack for Rise of the Necromancer because, yeah, they put the Necromancer back in, but they also gave us Act 5. And it wasn't terribly expensive. I think it was like $20 for a lot of new content. But, yeah, the post-launch DLC for this, I completely agree. It's probably going to be the other classes. So you can be more than just, what is this, Ranger, Wizard, or Elf, Barbarian, and Dwarf.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
I can totally see it. That's pretty shitty, but, I mean, whatever it might be, that's pretty shitty.
I guess our hope rests on Baldur's Gate 3.
I was going to say, Zero, Linus was excited anticipating this game. My excitement was definitely tempered by the history of awful D&D games.
Same.
It's really a shame.
It is.
Because there are so many other great games in styles that would wonderfully fit the IP. And that's the problem. Like, it's out there. It's just these idiots can't ever get it right.
Mm-hmm.
No. So, what's something positive that we can end on? Prison Architect! I didn't talk any about Prison Architect. I started playing Prison Architect again. So, yeah, they added something. Omega and I are very familiar with Prison Architect because I told Omega the original story of Thunderdome, which was a prison I created that was designed to enrage prisoners and make them fight to the death. I've tried playing Prison Architect the way that it's meant to be played. I really have. I've designed some very immaculate prisons, and the only thing that it has ever resulted in is disappointment. So at some point I decided, okay, I'm not going to play the game the way the game wants me to play it. I am going to try to fuck with it as much as humanly possible. So, I started that again. Thunderdome, the original one, still technically works, but it has problems with it because of the new systems that they've added. One of the new systems that they added are criminally insane people, and the criminally insane have their own class, their own, it's called deployment in the game. You can only put them in criminally insane sectors with padded cells, and that's their shtick. Problem with this is, and I know this is an option that you can turn off, but the vanilla game, your prisoners can go criminally insane just because their needs aren't met or something like that. As soon as your prisoner turns criminally insane, they can't occupy a normal cell, they have to go into a padded cell, they have to be in a special section of the prison. So I tried playing the game the way the game wanted me to play it. Again, foolishly thinking that maybe Paradox fixed some of the stuff that the original developers couldn't really get right. I was wrong to try. I shouldn't have done it. Another thing they added in was the green DLC, where your prisoners can grow things. Just go out in the garden and grow vegetables and trees and shit like that. So you can feed your own prison, or you could sell all that shit and make money. Not worth it to let your prisoners go out there. All they do is grow drugs, which is fine if I can find them and sell them myself, but most of the time you can't find them. Also, apparently they don't need to go out into the garden or into a workshop or anything to get contraband from the garden or the workshop or anything, so, there's that too. And another part of the green update was renewable energy sources, wind and solar, or a combination of both, and the ability to sell excess power. which I assume was supposed to be, you know, a boon. So, what did I do? I got rid of my entire prison. I am currently rebuilding my prison from the ground up and transferring prisoners into new sectors as I build them. We're going to have multiple Thunderdomes, multiple arenas that are overwatched by a control center, while my staff garden and make me money that way, and my renewable power sources tick away all day and give me like a free $60,000 every day just for selling power back to the power plant. So I am a money-making machine without utilizing any prison labor, and I get to watch people fight to the death. So that's where we're at. But Prison Architect, it's a marvel.
In the words of a great man, that sounds like slavery, but with more steps.
It would be slavery if I were asking them to do anything. Oh, I guess I'm asking them to fight for the death. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. But gosh, it's entertaining. So yeah, there's your positive note. Prison Architect, still going strong. They came out with a new DLC that's called Second Chances. It's all about rehabilitating your prisoners so that they can go out to the world and be productive members of society. But you gotta do a whole bunch of shit, and I'm not really up for, you know, improving people. I just want them to die. So I won't be getting that DLC. Otherwise, yeah, having fun.
Oh, new episodes of Rick and Morty started yesterday.
Oh, nice. Is this season 5 or the end of season 5?
I think this is actually season 6.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Part of the newest season.
All right, I'll go give that a watch. Always fun. But yeah, unless anybody has anything else they'd like to talk about, or spitball, or get off their chests, or rage about.
Enough.
About cover it.
Yeah, call it a podcast. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming along.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, Kirby, for stopping by. Always nice to see you. And yeah, we'll catch you same time next week. Same place, same channel, all the rest. Say bye, everybody. Penis, penis.
Bye.
Bye.